Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. Final Fantasy Adventure. Well, I'm feeling adventurous and, final. Final Fantasy Adventure was released for Game Boy in 1991 by Square Enix, and is an action-adventure game in the style of Zelda. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the crazy backstory this game has. Also known as Seiken Densetsu, the game was originally conceptualized as one of the biggest Famicom titles ever, spanning 5 floppy disks. Quite ambitious. In fact, too ambitious, as management cancelled it in 1987 before it even went beyond planning stages. Pre-orders had already begun for the game, and so Square Enix had to send out letters telling people about the cancellation, and also recommending that they try out another new game by the same company for the Famicom, a little title known as Final Fantasy. Jump forward to 1990, when Final Fantasy is now a hot commodity, and Square decides to start spinning off the franchise, coming to designer Koichi Ishii to create a Game Boy game. They revived the Seiken Densetsu name, but also attached a Final Fantasy name to it to potentially get sales up. The game sold very well and got great reviews, so Koichi got the chance to continue the series, and in 1993, he released a game for the Super Nintendo, a follow-up to Final Fantasy Adventure called Seiken Densetsu 2, but in the US it got a different name, Secret of Mana. That's right, this Final Fantasy spin-off ended up spinning off so hard it became another beloved RPG series. This is one of those covers that goes less for art and more for brand, but that works. If you're a fan, the title Final Fantasy sells you, and if you're not, it's still a cool and intriguing title. Either way, you are totally buying this game. A spin-off from one series and the start of another one. Swords and shields in hand, we're off on a Final Fantasy adventure. Oh, there's that music. You know, I've never been super into Final Fantasy, but even I think this music is nostalgic. Final Fantasy Adventure. Let's do this. My name will be, and the girl will be... Now, what? Already? Oh god. Okay, the game is just sort of throwing us right into things. I just smash buttons. Okay, the tiger exploded. Good. Olmec was a fighter of Empire Glaive. Okay, that's me. Olmec and friends were forced to fight every day. Just for the entertainment of Dark Lord. Oh, why would we ever work for someone named Dark Lord? I mean, I guess he might be forcing us to. Uh-oh. It looks like someone's already dying. We must let the Gemma Knights know about it. Who? Wait, who? Gemma? Let's see, Bogard at the Falls. He's a Gemma Knight, he should know what to do. Yeah, I don't know either. Willie? Oh, Willie's dead. Willie passed. See, I told you. I guess we're just moving on ahead. Oh, I got trapped. I'm so sorry about Willie. I could just tell he's dead from here. We have to get out of here. It's really rare for a Game Boy game to have this much story focus, but if ever there was a game to do it, it's gonna be a Final Fantasy game. Alrighty, let's escape. Oh, wait, this is where we were. Now oh god, it's looping! Okay, I exploded the tiger again. Scale down the building. As you would expect, this is very Zelda-like. But it seems to have much more of a story focus than Zelda. Uh-oh. You say the mana tree is above the falls? Yes, sir. The tree is in a shrine up there. How do I get there? Miracles occur sometimes, Darklet. So if we just wait around. A girl has the key to it. That's where the girl comes in. What? Who is it? Uh-oh. Get away from the uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna have to jump. Oh, I just get punched. Either way works. Where am I? What is this? I think I landed in Hyrule. Haha! Oh, yeah, let's save. E, I have 0 of 16 E. I bet that's experience. What is that bar at the bottom? Hang on, I'm gonna go check. Give me a sec. When the bar at the bottom of the screen fills up, you can perform a max attack. Oh, well, let's do that then. And... there are enemies. Attack! Whoa! I killed a couple enemies, and my experience is going up. Okay. Yeah, so it's very much, it's a Zelda clone. But they've put a lot more emphasis into story, and it also seems pretty well done so far. It's a little more awkward than, say, Link's Awakening. In terms of quality, how are you ever gonna beat, Link's Awakening? It was so good. Hello, young man. Welcome to Topple. Tree of Mana. Man, so I didn't realize the mana stuff was brought in so quickly. So this series really always was meant to be, you know, the Secret of Mana, or just the Mana series in general. Again, why did we trust someone named Dark Lord? I guess he probably just took over. And with a name like Dark Lord, no one's gonna question him. I love the stock RPG Sleepy Town theme. Never mind, it's time for the action theme. Fight me, cowards! Hooray! Select your growth type. Oh, nice. I can kind of see why this game was so, you know, beloved at the time. It basically took Zelda and did some rather unique stuff with it. You know, added in RPG, added in much more of a story focus. It's good. Oh wow, this screen is extra Zelda-y. Actually, I want to check something. What are the release dates of this versus Link's Awakening? Okay, so things have changed. This game came out 2 years before Link's Awakening, but several years after the original Legend of Zelda. This game came out actually the same year, as Link to the Past. Uh-oh. Oh, don't make me go all the way back. Okay, I need to learn to save more liberally. I just lost everything. So this game basically took the original Legend of Zelda. I found candy, finally. Iterated on it, added in some new mechanics. And then a couple years after this, Link's Awakening would come out and sort of really, you know, mess with the formula more with more of a story. So yeah, this game, it's very possible this game helped influence Link's Awakening. Is this the best game I've ever played? No. It's definitely a little awkward. You can tell. Combat's a little iffy. But all the seeds of something great are here. Between pretty good combat, not amazing, but it's alright. And more importantly, a very strong story focus. You can definitely see why this game was so important. After all, it launched the Mana series. Even though the protagonist kept dying over and over and over. Or maybe that was just me. It's always nice to see the foundation of a game series, even if that foundation is a bit wobbly. This game is what launched the Mana series, as well as being one of the first big action RPGs for the Game Boy, and in many, many ways, it set the standard for games that would come later. Before Link's Awakening came along, Final Fantasy Adventure took the Zelda formula and iterated on it, not only by adding in some quality RPG mechanics to make yourself feel stronger, but also through the story. It was rare to see a story this in-depth on the Game Boy, so it really was a step forward for handheld gaming. It's one of the things that the Final Fantasy series did so well, immersing you in the world rather than just being a game, and Final Fantasy Adventure was no exception. That said, the game hasn't aged fantastically. Certainly not badly, it still plays alright, but it's definitely one of those games that has been surpassed as time has gone on. The combat was a bit clunky and awkward. Not nearly enough to ruin the game, but enough to stand out. And the graphics and sound, well, they were certainly good, but later Game Boy games certainly looked, sounded, and played better, especially the aforementioned Link's Awakening, which did almost everything Final Fantasy Adventure did, but more polished and stylish. But that's not a knock at Final Fantasy Adventure. It was the perfect game for its time, a major step forward for gaming that future games could then use to go even further. This one is worth playing if you're a fan of the Mana series and want to see how the series got its start, or just want an old-school action RPG experience. The best way to describe this game, it's an influential product of its time. Just goes to show you that sometimes other companies could do Zelda better than Zelda. Well, for about 2 years anyway. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.